Bowling for Beginners is a fantastical, magical play.
It is about a group of people who are on a collegiate bowling team together.
After they have just won the national championship. So they come back into their college environment.
It's got a lot of underlying themes of like feminism and equality, and
it's about them trying to sort of maintain the level of competition and success that they've gotten used to.
And how people who are not necessarily like perceived of as male don't really get the same kind of attention.
They're bringing on a couple of new people onto the team, so it's also about trying to sort of create a new group and a new sense of belonging and community among the bowlers.
But it's also very like intercut. There's a lot of different things happening at once, and it's more about this broader story of equality being told through the guise of collegiate sports.
My name is Professor Jenny McKnight. I am the director of Bowling for Beginners, which is part of our At First Sight Play Festival here in the Department of Theater and Dance. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Diana Grisanti. I'm a visiting professor of playwriting at IU, she, her.
My name is Hendricks. I use they, them pronouns, and I am playing Cassidy in Bowling for Beginners, who also uses they, them pronouns.
Yeah, I mean, the play is like really funny and fun, and the aim is to make diversity feel accomplishable and like exciting.
There's a note that the playwright Diana Grisanti included in the script that says that bowling is often thought of as a middle-class white person's sport. But in her research while she was writing the play, she discovered that collegiate bowling is actually quite diverse. And of course, athletics on a campus level is oftentimes one of the most diverse populations of students that we have. So it's really important to represent that in the way we cast the show. And it's a healthy thing for us to do for our departmental culture is to offer representation to maybe some underrepresented groups, so that when audiences come and see our plays, they see themselves on stage. So I think that's hugely important.
The more those things are externalized and the more those things are like put out there for people to see, then people who are struggling with their identities or people who think that things really need to just be more black and white or the way that things have been, it opens the door to let those people like be themselves. Seeing somebody not just pretending to be what they are on stage, but someone who actually is the way that they are, being allowed to be that way is so different.
I mean, it's mandatory. I don't know. It's the least that a theater can do is to cast how the playwright has asked things to be cast. And this play is flexible, so like there's flexibility there. But in terms of gender and sexuality, there's one character who is non-binary, and we've cast an amazing non-binary actor, trans actor. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And I just remember looking through the descriptions and seeing that one of the actors that they were looking for was like a non-binary character. It was a character that identified as non-binary. And I just remember having the thought of like, I'm going to make this work. And it felt like something that I was just kind of supposed to do. Like I was very nervous going into the audition process, and I was very nervous during and after the audition. But like from the moment that I saw that, I was kind of like, that has to be me. Like I have to do that.
Because I find that people of college age. We have one graduate student in our production. Everyone else is undergraduate. And people of that age have a very different, very progressive perspective about inclusion and about making sure that representation is a priority. And it's been really fun and really cool for me as somebody who, you know, came up in the theater way before times, just to see how thoughtful and careful and respectful this generation of artists really is with each other and with the material.
A lot of plays are boring.
They can be.
A lot of people grow up thinking that theater is stodgy and boring and that it's a chore. And I try to write plays that are exciting and theatrical and that make you enjoy your time in the theater. So please know, world, that I've tried to construct something to to keep your attention, you know, like sports.
I think this play really serves our students in our department who are actors and stage managers and designers. I think it serves our students really well. And I think it's also just incredibly timely, but it approaches the subject of gender equality in sport is one of the big sort of themes that we investigate in the play in a fun and approachable way. And you learn something, and you know, I love that kind of storytelling because it's not as if you're being hit over the head with some big moral lesson. You learn something and it's also enjoyable.
I hope that it opens people up to learning and to asking questions and to not just like assuming things about people, not just with gender, but with a lot of other stuff. Like as you see this, you're like, oh, well, they do sports, but then all of them like have their own lives and personal stuff in ways that they are. And, you know, just kind of the whole like not judging a book by its cover, but also not making up excuses for judging that book when you do. And then also the other thing is, I hope that people look at it and like I've been saying probably too much, just look at it and see that the world is changing, and that if you feel underrepresented, that we are working towards a time and a place where that will not be the case anymore, or at least not as much, and that it's creating a world that is more receptive to those things.